Alrighty, cool. Alright guys, welcome to October 7th live Zoom. Right, so if I recall correctly, what we had talked about on Tuesday was pretty much that I believe we were around here. Yeah, we were literally right here, where we were mentioning how we had a continuation BOS, we had an internal turbulence point, and whether or not that could cause a general reaction. And we had pointed out an inefficiency, but just based on this time frame, you could also see that there is another inefficiency there, right? But the point was whether we were going to see something start to pop off a little bit just because of our internal structure. Because as you can see, there is solidified low and then there's solidified high, right? And we are within a discount. So that seems to be giving, you know, a relatively strong reaction. So now in terms of a directional bias, two things. One, this is the only real reference point that is kind of standing out to me. And I want to see whether or not we can see something in here, or if we are going to continue our low high retracement continuation. That would pretty much be our second option. However, just based on daily closures, right, and also based on weekly closures, it really looks like we are probably going to continue higher. Even if we get a reaction here next week, it could just be a reaction that could generate a pullback internally for it to continue higher. But as of right now, it doesn't really look like we're going to give any sort of bearish move just yet, right? Obviously that could change based on the reaction that's given, but just as of now, it really seems like, based on that Tuesday call, that the continuation BOS that we had acknowledged is currently playing out toward the upside. So that could kind of relatively explain why AU continued lower, because I believe we had mentioned that there was a liquidity grab here, right? And that liquidity grab was only invalidated if the high was taken, just because our structure was still overall bearish. So although internally you could see there was obviously continuation BOS, bullish liquidity grab per se towards the upside, right? The bias itself, based on the original liquidity grab and what we had talked about on Tuesday, has played out. So now I do see us coming for, right, our previous what is this, a monthly low? Yeah, last month's low. I do see that being taken out, but now after that we don't necessarily know. If we are to get a quick grab from there, then you can obviously see a retracement up into at least, I would say, this general area, and then after that we could try to assume that this would continue towards the downside. But if this is to get a relatively strong bullish reaction after we take out liquidity, then this could really not be as probable, and you could pretty much see potentially a reversal where we could have a grab plus the internal liquidity grab confirmation here, which would then generate a potential bullish bias towards the upside. But yeah, as of this one, it does seem like that original bias stayed intact. Same thing with EU. I don't recall what exact POI we had pointed out. I don't know if we had just pointed out a general area. Let me see. Yes, it was actually a general area from the daily. And we had talked about how if we are to reach back up here, then we could see a reaction towards the downside. And that is pretty much what we got here. Just because I believe, I'm actually going to take this out, because I believe we were around here, right, at the time of the Zoom on Tuesday. And as you can see, just based on that, the only realistic scenario was here, which was last night's, or a day ago. That was the London session here. But as of right now, you are seeing that reaction start to play out. So that bias was correct, and as of right now I am still bearish on this. I don't see why we could generate any type of move to the upside in terms of a medium to longer term bias. As of right now, because we have the reaction off the POI, plus we have taken out the entire structure point, I do see this kind of continuing towards the downside. I don't see why this should give us any more type of upside, at least for the short term. There is obviously a POI sitting here. POI sitting here, of course, but we know that our directional bias is still bearish. So this one, I don't see why we don't continue the bias from Tuesday, which was POI and overall continuation. Gold, this one was an interesting one. I recall, I believe it was a weekly wick. Yes, it was a weekly wick that we had pointed out, and we were going to see whether or not this is going to promote a reaction internally. However, I am still bullish on this. I do see this still continuing higher. I would just like to see this just dip down a little bit lower. And the only reason why I would like that is because we are still technically right within low momentum here in comparison to the previous impulsive move. So I would definitely like to see this inefficiency maybe be tested, where we could see maybe internal order flow give us a short-term bearish move, and then we see a move to the upside. That would really make a lot of sense to me. And that could really be one of your longer term moves, because we are sitting in the 1600s, and this could technically bring us back up to the 1800s if we are to meet target. So yeah, this is definitely interesting. I forgot who exactly it was that mentioned gold last week and how they had their conservative entry and their aggressive entry, but I do see this continuing higher based on that bias that he had given us last week. And our last one was US 30. This one we were anticipating, you know, the bias has not changed here. I don't see this giving us any sort of long-term bullish move, at least for the next couple of months. And that was based on the internal structural disruption that we had talked about, and how we could realistically be starting to look for a pretty big target. And then after that, we obviously have no clue. So based on that bias from Tuesday, right, that was right here, as you can see, we are technically playing within order flow there, and that was like a perfect tap. Let me show you guys, that was actually like a perfect tap. Yes, it was right there. And this is giving us more downside. I don't see this giving us any more of a push to the upside, and if it does, then technically it would be bullish internally. So if this is to give a pop here, then you would need a bearish transition. But if you're to get a bearish transition, then you're looking at a very big move. But yeah, nothing has changed on here. The bias is still bearish. I don't see, you know, any reason to be bullish here. But yeah, with DXY still looking up, AU looking short term a little bit more down, EU still looking down, gold potentially looking up, and US 30 looking down. So that would probably conclude today. Does anybody have any questions, anything they want to go over? How are you guys doing? Any questions today? How are you guys doing? Nothing? Yeah, I'll sit here for like maybe 10 minutes, see if anybody has anything they want to cover, and outside of that, I'll probably just end the call. Had a hedge gold sell? Yeah, nice. I thought I saw something here. Right, was it based on this, not necessarily BOS, but a very deep retracement back into a premium and then discount? Yeah, nice, very nice. Was there an internal thing here, or was there? Nice, I see it, nice. Nice preliminary after liquidity grab, invalidation being up here. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, and you can see the POI here, and you could even see the wick there. Very nice. There was a failed opportunity though too. You can see this here. Where was it? It was right here, where you see high being taken, preliminary being taken here as well. Actually, no, I'm sorry, not there. Right here, preliminary being taken, and then you see the balance here, break even, and then that would have broken you even before giving an internal reaction. I see. M30 POI there.
Is that technically a liquidity grab?
Could you tell me what you're talking about?
So you know how it broke up here? It kind of this wick up there, the 30-minute POI, it broke those equal highs and then it created a new low.
Yeah, can you annotate, please? Actually, are you allowed to annotate? Let me see if you can do this. Okay, yeah, you can. Cool, perfect. Yeah, so what about that?
I just saw that as a liquidity grab, and then that's what made the POI valid for me.
Yeah, okay. So this would be a liquidity grab to determine the bias of, one second. To determine the bias of a potential continuation based on the overall structure, which is high, low into retracement. We know the continuation BOS has already occurred. We know that this is a potential turbulence point. We know this is another potential turbulence point. This one looks a lot more valid in terms of turbulence point just because it does look a little bit more rangy, where this looks a little bit more flaggy. So yes, that would be a liquidity grab in harmony with that higher time frame bias. That higher time frame bias, which is then where you would have a POI here, and anything inside of here is legitimate reason as to why you would want to risk. But yes, it would be a liquidity grab based on minor intraday. Yep, definitely want to see what happens more on a discount here. Yep, definitely want to see what a discount here would give us, and that would probably be if you get a right scenario, then that you're looking at a very, very big move. Excuse me. But I do definitely still see this continuing lower. But yeah, any more questions? Anything you guys want to go over? Gives some pretty decent moves. I mean, bro, every pair gives you decent moves. Every pair gives you decent moves. You ever look at US oil? I haven't looked at oil in a long time, actually. Has it still been rocketing since the whole crash that happened? Oh, wow, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. It is overall, yeah. This is bullish, crazy bullish long term. Just because this is a finite resource. What is the oil future again? Is it STP? No. I forget what the oil future is. WTI, there we go, WTI. I believe it was this. I don't remember exactly which one. But yeah, this one definitely still bullish long term. Don't see why this should not continue higher. Definitely don't see it. But yeah, I definitely still remember this here. There was like this whole thing where like people were buying the crash and their brokers were like refunding their own money. Like, let's say you made 10K off of this move, like you would have like 10K removed from your account. It was crazy. I remember this. That's how you know it's rigged. Sweep and then move into the upside. Liquidity grab confirmed. Turbulence point. This should still definitely be going higher. Should definitely reach up here. But yeah, definitely. But does anybody have any questions they want to go over? Cool, yeah. No worries. Let's see, is Sid in here? No, he's not. I'd like to make fun of United for that performance yesterday. Cool. Yeah. Any more questions? If not, we can cut it early today. Cool. I guess we can wrap it up here. Cool. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Definitely let's see what happens by Tuesday's Zoom and we'll go from there. So yeah, thank you guys for hopping on. I hope you guys have a great weekend.